When I was 10, I went alone deep into Shenangjia. I swallowed a meteorite and even forced my parents to eat the leftover shards. My parents freaked out. They thought I'd lost it and even called a psych hospital to have me locked up. But I was the only one who knew what was coming. A global beast tide and a meteor storm that would turn humanity into primal monsters. And the one I swallowed? The legendary Longevity Origin Stone. In my last life, a python swallowed this stone and became immortal. 10 Beast Kings tried to kill it, and it still walked away like it was nothing. This time I woke up one day before the beastification began. I kicked my door open and sprinted for Shenangjia, with one goal, that stone. The memories were burned into my bones. I once turned into a black-brown bear with insane defense, fought through a sea of blood, barely became a small city lord, then got killed on the spot by a tiger overlord. Most people had it even worse. They touched ordinary stones, then became either tame animals or straight-up livestock. I pushed non-stop for 3 hours. The trail got more and more barren. Then the familiar forest warning line came into view and my heart finally eased up. In my last life, I'd stumbled onto the birthplace of the immortal python. I knew the exact spot where the stone would land. Now all I had to do was wait. Time crawled by second, and the impact moment was almost here. Then I heard it. Panicked screams. I couldn't afford a single mistake right now, but that desperation sounded real. After a brief hesitation, I ran toward the sound. A young sister and brother were being chased down by a lone wolf. The girl in front tripped and hit the ground, and the wolf lunged. No hesitation. I pulled my knife and rushed in. The blade flashed. I cut straight through its throat and the wolf dropped. Only then did the two of them snap out of it. They scrambled to their feet. "Thank you, I'm Su Wangking, and this is my little brother, Su Chen." I looked them over and said coldly, "You're safe now. Leave. Go as far as you can." Then I turned around and disappeared into the trees. Behind me, Su Wangking stared after my back. There was a strange, unreadable spark in her eyes. Not long after, the sky lit up with a brilliant streak, like a shooting star. It screamed toward my position, and my whole body jolted with excitement. I stood still and waited for the stone to arrive. A soft voice suddenly spoke behind me. "What are you waiting for out here?" My whole body went rigid. I whipped around. Su Wangking was standing not far away. She stared at me, and my face went cold. The stone was about to fall, and the transformation needed absolute silence. If she stuck around, it would only cause trouble. Right then, the sky exploded with a deafening boom. That streak became a burning fireball, dropping faster and faster. Su Wangking looked up, saw it clearly, and started shaking. What is that thing?" "Just a meteor." I kept my eyes locked on the sky and answered calmly. She stared at me like I was insane. "You're waiting for it to land?" The next second, she saw something she'd never forget. I slowly raised my arms, my eyes burning, and stepped into the collision. But the weird part? The fireball stopped right in front of me and condensed into a fist-sized stone. Su Wangking moved closer, stunned, trying to look at it. Then she saw what I did and froze. I opened my mouth and swallowed the stone whole. A silver-white cocoon of light wrapped around my entire body. Su Wangking collapsed onto the ground, trembling. Everything she'd seen tonight shattered her worldview. From every direction, beasts howled. In the dark, pairs of glowing eyes flickered everywhere. But for some reason, they only circled at a distance. None dared cross the cocoon's line. At the edge of Shenangjia, Su Chen was drenched in sweat, gripping his phone. "Hello, police? I'm in Shenangjia. My sister's missing. I just saw something like a meteor slam down. Please, you have to save her. Was your sister lost inside the scenic area?" The voice paused. Then a stern order rang out. "All units assemble. Shenangjia has an anomaly. Follow higher command. Bring heavy gear. Move now. Level 1 alert. Go." Su Chen froze. Before he could even react, the voice came back serious and firm. "Sir, our support team is on the way. Find a safe spot and stay put. Do not move around." He hung up and went blank. "Level 1 alert." What the heck just happened? Back in the forest, Su Wangking curled up where the cocoon had been, shaking. More and more beasts gathered, drawn by that aura. Then she turned, and the cocoon was gone. A massive tongue hung right in front of her face. Cold scales gleamed, and thick vertical pupils stared down without emotion. Behind it, the snake's body stretched for meters, thick as a small tree, glowing faint icy blue. That was me, flicking my tongue, feeling that strange power surge inside. I was satisfied. Around me, beasts hissed and provoked, drawn by the stone's power, waiting for my transformation to finish. I lifted my body and taunted them. "Just a bunch of lone wolves and a few leopards. You really think 8 or 9 of you can hunt me?" And right as I was about to strike, a mechanical voice spoke inside my head. "Congratulations, host. You have activated the strongest Devour and Purify system. Devour normal prey to gain growth points. Devour mutant beasts to gain their abilities and massive growth points. No species limit." I froze. In my last life, weak mutant beasts could only devour and evolve within the same species. Cross-species devouring was useless. This system broke that rule. Current growth points to next evolution, 100. I narrowed my eyes. Last life, as a bear, I fought my way through 36 evolutions just to reach Small Lord level. Now that I was the immortal python, how many evolutions would it take to become an overlord? I didn't hesitate. I charged the wolves and leopards, and within minutes they were all hunted and devoured. My growth points jumped to 17, and I still wanted more. Suwenking was already pale as a sheet. She sat there, frozen, unable to move. Then I heard it, sirens, and the rumble of troops in the distance. I didn't expect the police and the military to arrive this fast. I glanced down at Su Wangking. In my last life, I only became a savage beast after the global outbreak, and I'd never eaten a human. Right now, the thought of it made my stomach turn. I had zero urge to devour her. Su Wangking felt my gaze and started shaking. In a trembling voice, she asked, "Can you understand what I'm saying?" I tilted my head slightly, then nodded, slowly. She was completely stunned. Her hand flew to her mouth, her whole body trembling. She realized she'd stumbled onto a secret that could flip the world upside down, and it terrified her. I looked deeper into the woods and clearly sensed a large group closing in fast. The entrance to Shenangjia was already sealed off by the military. No time to waste. I turned into a streak of blue light and vanished. Elsewhere, near the forest edge, a cop raised binoculars, confused. "Am I seeing things? I swear I just saw a giant snake that was glowing." That was Captain Zhao Lei. He swallowed hard, eyes full of disbelief. "Captain, there's no such thing as a glowing python. You're just too tense, you're seeing things." But before he could finish, his pupils suddenly shrank. "Snake? It's real! A giant python!" Zhao Lei jerked his head up and followed where the young officer pointed. A massive python, glowing faint blue, was slithering out with its huge body. The scene instantly turned into chaos, gunshots everywhere. Then silence. Zhao Lei stared in the direction it vanished, scalp tingling. After a long moment, he snapped back and barked at his team. "Now, report to higher-ups!" Shenangjia has a massive mutant python. Not long after, I hid in a concealed mountain cave and coiled in the corner. I looked down at the bullet holes in my body. Blood was still pouring out. But a strange power surged inside me, and the wounds started closing at a visible speed. In my last life, I once devoured a mutant bear with crazy regeneration. Even then, it still took at least half a day to heal. Now, as the immortal python, in just tens of minutes, my wounds were already scabbing over. No wonder the immortal python became one of the beast kings later on. This body was mine now, and with it, I'd have my place among future overlords. But I wasn't satisfied. In my last life, deep in Hainan's tropical rainforest, there was a golden giant python mutant. Defense so ridiculous it was basically cheating. Only by devouring it could I become truly unbeatable and lock in my future as an overlord.